The first time I saw that dressing case, it was lying inside an evidence bag, its peachwood surface stained with a layer of dark, dried blood. The metal clasp was twisted and deformed as if silently recounting the final struggle. It was the most crucial piece of evidence at the Zhang Yulan crime scene and the most haunting case of my career. The report came early that morning, unexpected and urgent. Zhang Yulan, a retired teacher who lived alone, had been found in a pool of blood in her bedroom, her head brutally struck. Beside her lay blood-stained brass paperweights. As the only female officer in the major crimes unit, I volunteered to visit the victim's family. Standing before the aging apartment block, staring at the weathered red brick walls, I had a sudden premonition. This case, which appeared to be a simple break-in and robbery, harbored a deeper darkness. When the victim's son silently opened the door, I noticed faint crimson stains at the cuff of his faded gray hoodie. His hair was messy, his eyes ringed with dark shadows, yet his features retained a boyish softness. "Officer, my mom..." His voice was hoarse, his fingers unconsciously picking at a corner of his sleeve. The apartment reeked of disinfectant, tainted with the iron tang of blood. On the table, a half bowl of congealed rice porridge sat untouched, as though time had frozen in a moment of routine. Crime scene analysis showed no signs of forced entry. The doors and windows were intact. The victim wore a silk nightgown, and skin tissue was retrieved from under her fingernails. A jade bracelet had gone missing from the vanity. The disordered rummaging throughout the house seemed staged, too deliberate in its chaos, as if someone was trying to fake a burglary. But when the forensics team discovered a life insurance policy hidden in a compartment of the dressing case, the case began to shift. The beneficiary, Lan Li, the son. In the interrogation room, the fluorescent light bore down harshly. Lan Li sat curled in a metal chair, obsessively wiping his glasses, yet never meeting my eyes. "I worked late that night, got home around 10, he recounted fluidly, almost flawlessly, except for a brief pause when asked about the estimated time of death. Surveillance footage showed him leaving work at 8:15. Those 2 unaccounted hours stretched between us like a silent abyss. Then the lab report came in. The DNA under Zhang Yulan's nails matched Lan Li. More shockingly, toxicology confirmed that she had been taking sedatives over a long period, medication that bore only his fingerprints on the bottle. I returned to the scene again and found half a broken pearl necklace under the bed. The same necklace Lan Li had bought his mother with his part-time job earnings during university. As we dug deeper, more emerged. His gaming startup was on the brink of collapse. His credit cards maxed out, and his phone held messages from loan sharks. Neighbors recalled hearing arguments between mother and son, often about transferring the apartment deed and settling debts. But what chilled me most was a diary we found in the lowest layer of the dressing case. On its yellowed pages, Zhang Yulan had written in elegant script about her growing disillusionment. "He's changed. He's no longer the boy who once promised to pluck stars for me." During the 3rd interrogation, Lan Li finally broke. "She never believed in me," he roared, eyes blazing with years of repressed anger. "I failed once, and she called me a failure. I wanted to sell the house and try again. She'd rather donate the money to an orphanage than help me." His voice faltered into sobs. "That night, I just wanted to scare her," he said. "But then the dressing case, it just hit her." After the case closed, I often thought back to the blood on Lan Li's cuff when I first met him. Maybe that was his final act of resistance, his most fatal mistake. Human nature is infinitely complex. Love and hatred blur in a single heartbeat. That blood-stained dressing case didn't just trap a mother's life. It locked away her son's unhealable guilt and remorse. On the day the case concluded, I visited Zhang Yulan's grave alone. In the photo on her tombstone, she wore that broken pearl necklace, her smile serene. The wind stirred the air with a faint scent of jasmine. For a fleeting moment, I thought I saw Lan Li standing in the distance, holding that same shattered dressing case. His tears fell onto the peachwood, blooming into red blossoms. This case taught me that the truth is often more brutal than appearances. As police officers, we pursue justice under the law. But we must also confront the abyss of human nature. Late at night, I still think of that dressing case, like a silent witness. It tells a story of love and destruction and reminds me always, on the scales of justice, even the smallest detail can tip the balance between life and death.